So there's a channel called the Nomad Capitalist, and it's basically about high income earners and how they can relocate to other countries, how they can become expatriates and live somewhere else, either for tax reasons or whatever else reasons they want to, you know, more affordable places to be. They want more interesting environments. They want to have new experiences as they travel, so on and so forth. And there was actually a thread that the Nomad Capitalist channel started that says, "What's your favorite thing about Mexico?" So I very much appreciate this thread, and we're going to look at a few comments that they talk about. So I'm going to say, ooh, misspelled thread, huh? Let's fix it. All right, so now here we have one commenter saying, there's a sense of freedom that's undescribable in the atmosphere. It feels good to the core, makes me happy. You know, there's actually many people who say that about Mexico, that it's really hard to basically, describe it, but there really is a higher sense of freedom out there. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it depends on the context. I think some people could take the freedom a little bit too far. At the same time, it's undeniable that there really is more freedom out there. To what is that due? I'm not sure. I mean, if we go back to the imperial days of the Spanish Empire, if you received an order from Madrid, it would take a long time for it to come over to this side of the ocean, and its enforcement could be iffy. So, to a certain degree, people were probably, left to do whatever they wanted. And that kind of culture probably permeated to modern days. And therefore, the sense of freedom or the vibes of freedom are actually still palpable to this day. In any case, so let's see what else people say. It says here, the vibe. People are genuinely happy. And when I was there, I didn't even see people arguing with each other. I also loved how ambitious many of the people were, as they would bring out their tables to sell their cakes or drinks. Also loved the abundance of fruit stands with fresh produce there as well. Right, so you're going to see a lot of food vending going on, street food vendors. Um, that could be, that could be a good thing, and there's going to be a lot of people selling their crafts, their arts and crafts in the basically in public plazas. So you're going to have those options. The fact is that, when you have that's what's called the informal sector. So people who work in the informal sector of the economy, sometimes it's tough for them to receive the benefits that come along with being a formal worker or being a part of the formal recognized economy, because that comes with rights, privileges, and obligations. And a lot of people miss out if they work in the informal sector, but at the same time, that's more of a laissez-faire. That's more of a, well, probably a more pure version of what capitalism would be, wouldn't it? So it says here the quality of the food is amazing, and the Nomad Capitalist actually liked this one. So yeah, the food in Mexico, some people would argue is probably the best in the world. I don't know about that. To me, Mexican food is just food, and I think it is delicious. Of course, I'm a vegetarian, so it has to be adapted a little bit when I eat it. However, I hear a lot of good things about the food, and of course, there's a lot to pick from when it comes to that. So it says here, how it makes me feel. Makes me feel free, at home, and ease. Beyond that, the food, architecture, thousand-year history, the people, all of it mixes into a place that is hard to encapsulate in a YouTube comment, but I tried LOL. Alright, so there's something else to think about when it comes to that, right? So here we go, repeating the theme of freedom, right? So it's there as well. The idea of being at home and at ease. Somebody, actually, there's a channel um, where people from Spain moved to Japan. One of them actually went to Mexico and compared basically life in Mexico to life in Japan, and he went over the pluses and minuses. In any case, one of the pluses was that he explained that Mexico is a country that grows into you. At first you might not like this or that, but eventually the longer you stay there, the more you feel at home. Whereas Japan, it's kind of the opposite. At first, you might be dazzled by everything that you see, but eventually it kind of wears you out and you become jaded. Mexico, like, it's kind of the inverse when it comes to that. At least that's what some people say. And the idea of the architecture and the thousand-year history plus the thousand-plus-year history. Yes, because we're not only talking about the legacy of the Spanish Empire, which of course is a very strong legacy dating back to about 500 years, right? But we're also talking about the pre-Columbian cultures, the pre-Columbian civilizations and empires, which span back even longer back. Right now, the modern Mexico is basically a fusion, a racial, cultural, and architectural fusion of those cultures, the pre-Columbian and the Hispanic. There's actually a place in Mexico called Plaza de las Tres Culturas, or the Plaza of the Three Cultures, where you see pre-Columbian ruins, um, col- what we call colonial architecture, and modern architecture, all in the same plaza. So it's called the Plaza of the Three Cultures. That's emblematic of the mixture of the cultural mix and fusion that Mexico really is. That's why I would really call Mexico, you know, a unique culture that is actually a blend of many, many things. And in Spanish, we call that mestizaje. Mestizaje not only in terms of race, but also in terms of, everything else that we see. So it was a pleasure looking at some of these comments. If you keep scrolling down, you're going to find other things. Some people saying the culture's awesome, some people saying the people, food, and street life. A lot of positive, wonderful comments, and it's amazing. Oh, look, and here's my comment. I appreciate the thread. I'm gonna like my own comment. Anyways, thank you for watching this video.